Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking every single Chills card that came out in packs today, from worst to best here in NBA 2K26 MyTEAM. There's a lot of good cards in today's Chills drop, and there's a lot of bad ones as well, to be totally fair. But it's the biggest drop we've seen this year by a significant amount. 20 cards instead of the usual 11, which is pretty nice. And a lot of good options, a lot of good diamonds, couple of good amethysts too. Overall, I mean, this is, in my opinion, at least one of the most solid drops we've seen. Well, probably the best drop we've seen in all honesty this year, especially with the upgraded pack odds. For all the things that I am annoyed about today's content, the pack drop really isn't that. You know what I mean? There's good depth to the drop, and I think it's a solid one. So we're going to go ahead and rank everything from worst to best. And the worst card in this list, unfortunately, I'm sorry, Haley. It's Haley Van Lith. The WNBA cards generally aren't great, and a 5'7" point guard who can't dunk is never going to be a good card. Entirely a defensive liability, no matter what stats and badges she has, but honestly, her stats and badges aren't that great on the defensive end of the court. A total inability to dunk the ball is not going to cut it either, and honestly, even her SIGs aren't that good. She is not good at 5'7". Definitely an easy pass. Next up is, I'm sorry, unfortunately, it's Big Zoo. I mean, look, Zubac is an incredible player in real life, but the honest truth is, 65 speed, 26 3 ball at center is never going to cut it. I think we all know that. So the realistic truth is he is probably the second worst card in this drop. After that is Matthew Dellavedova, who just doesn't really do anything. I mean, actually, he's pretty competitive defensively, but he's offensively so no, you know what? I'm too low on this card. I'm realizing that I have this wrong. I'm going to go back and I'm going to change a couple of things real quickly. Dellavedova actually moves up a little bit on the list because I'm underrating his defense a little bit. Ryan Howard is actually going to be the next card. Look, on paper, this card's pretty good. Not a great slasher, but pretty good at everything else. But I'm sorry, she's a 6'2" shooting guard. That is too big of a size issue to really be viable, unfortunately. So that's going to make her the third worst card on this list. After that, he's an exciting player to watch. I think he's going to be a good NBA player. But Zero Fears, Jeremiah Fears, he may be a 6'4" point guard, but he doesn't have much defense at all. He does have the slashing. I think you can kind of go either way with this card and a couple others, but the honest truth is only an 84 3 ball, missing a lot of shooting and defensive badges. I just don't think I trust him that much still, unfortunately. And the same can be said for Marcus Thornton, honestly, who's pretty darn similar. Another 6'4" point guard, but also a bad defender, and he has a really big player build, I will say, for 6'4", but he, again, is not very good defensively. He does have better shooting stats and badges than Jeremiah Fears does slightly, and I know his jumper's pretty good. Ed Davis upper's super nice, so that does help him out. I give him the slight edge over Fears, but I think they're pretty darn similar. Now I'm going to put Dellavedova. I think Dellavedova deserved to be moved up a few spots. He's 90 speed, 93, and legitimately quality defense at 6'3" point guard. He just can't dunk, which is an issue. And his SIGs still aren't good. But I do think being at least a very good defensive point guard is kind of valuable. And so I did decide to give him a little bit of an edge there. Next up is Buddy Hield. I will say Buddy Hield, awesome shooter, pretty fast. But again, he's undersized, not a great defender. As a 6'4" shooting guard, he's an elite shooter. But again, the defense leaves so much to be desired. 75 driving dunk, just not super impressive there. Jimmy Escape is nice, though, I will say that. And his jumper is absolutely money, so he is at least good there offensively, but defensively, he's just going to leave too much of an issue, I think. And the same pretty much can be said for James Jones, who's a slower version, but also taller version of Buddy Hield. He also has pretty nice animations, by the way. Kobe Escape, Curry slide behind the back, and a very good release on quick. Offensively as a pure shooter and even a little bit as a scorer, because of those SIGs, he can be kind of a hooper, but he's slow and he can't defend. So again, he's still not a card that I'd really recommend. And then Yao Ming is the last, I think Yao Ming is the last, like, not good card on this list. He's 7'6" to 7'9" wingspan. Obviously the size is ridiculous, but he's got a 59 speed, 54 3 ball in a game where 54 3 ball isn't high enough to hit with any level of consistency. I think he's the last legitimately just not very good card in this drop, in my opinion. So next up is Otto Porter. This Otto Porter card is decent. He's not a great defender, but he's better than some of the other wings we've seen so far, the James Jones and Buddy Hield and even Marcus Thornton, Jeremiah Fears, guys like that. And he's a great shooter himself. His jumper is absolutely buttery. Now, does not have great animations, but he is 6'8" with at least decent speed, a little bit of defense. He's not special. I still don't think he's an insane card. He needs badges added for sure, and I don't know if it's worth adding badges to an amethyst, but I do think he's the best card we've seen so far. And then next up is the final WNBA player, Breanna Stewart. I'm sorry. I know her stats and badges are really, really good. She's a 6'4" small forward who it doesn't have amazing animations, you know what I mean? I don't even know if her jumper's really any all that good, but basic dribble style, meh escape, meh behind the back, that hard behind the back isn't that great. I mean, look, the shooting badges are great and everything. She's probably not completely terrible, but I don't think she's great either. So to me, she's also a little bit lower on this list than maybe some. But I feel like she's not terrible. She's just small. You know what I mean? Next up is going to be Halliburton. Halliburton's jumper's never great in my team, but he is at least fast, 6'5", decent. Not great, but okay as a finisher. He's 6'5", so he can stand dunk as well, which helps with the finishing ability. And then defensively, he's not a total liability, and he has 7 defensive badges, including a bunch of important ones for a guard, at least on bronze. So you don't have to use badge slots on those badges, which means he's a lot more complete than he would be otherwise if he didn't have those badges base and only came with a couple defensive badges. Having them on bronze is a huge, huge thing because it means you can use his badge slots on other stuff. I just upgrade those badges, which is really nice. I think he's a decent card. I don't think he's amazing, but I think he's decent. Ray Allen is higher than I would have otherwise had him, but they gave this card his release on very quick. Why? I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but he's okay-ish as a finisher. He's not a liability speed-wise. Defensively on the perimeter, he'll be okay, but he's missing the playmaking badges, and the defense still isn't. You know what? I changed my mind. I'm moving Ray Allen down a spot. I think I would have Halliburton over Ray Allen, so I'm going to adjust that on the fly there, just so y'all know. But Ray Allen having his jumper on very quick is really pretty cheesy. I do think he is a top 10 card, but just barely a top 10 card on this list. Now is when this list actually starts to take a step forward, though, in a more significant manner. This Marquise Chris is an awesome budget card. 6'10 with a 7-foot wingspan. You look at him, and yes, there's some flaws. 55 strength, 68 perimeter. But honestly, the perimeter is overshadowed by the fact that he at least has decent agility. He's decently quick, especially for a tall, small forward like he is. 95 stand, 95 driving, 83 3 ball, and his jumper is awesome. Reminds me a lot of like a Kobe base with a really good upper. Like, it's legitimately a really, really solid jump shot. And I think he is a great card for a budget player with a really good jumper, incredible finishing, and I mean 96 vert, 84 interior, 82 block, 82 agility. He's not a total liability defensively either. I think this Marquise Chris card is really solid. I think he's a budget beast. Speaking of budget beasts, you jump up even more with the next card, which is Alex Caruso. 6'5", 6'5 wingspan, 84 speed, 85 3 ball, 90 driving dunk, really good defender. Again, tall enough to stand dunk at 6'5", and a very, very good defensive point guard. He's not as complete as Tyrese Halliburton is in terms of some of the playmaking and the shooting, but he's a better slasher. And honestly, his jumper isn't bad. Even on quick, I wouldn't say it's amazing, but it's not bad. I think he's pretty darn good. And he is, I believe, the 6th best card in this drop on my list. Next up is Mike Miller. Call me crazy. I know this is probably higher than people expected Mike Miller to be. He's 6'8 at shooting guard with 89 speed, 95 3, decent finishing, and good defense. This card's good. He's got a good, really, really good jump shot. Ed Davis upper's awesome. I think this card is really nice. I think he's very slept on. I was honestly really surprised how complete Mike Miller's stats and badges were this morning when I looked at this card. Not what I remembered him being, but I guess I had overlooked him previously. He's solid, man. Mike Miller is a good option at the shooting guard position. Elite shooter, great size, really nice stats and badges. I mean, he is legit. At number 4, I am going with Derek Lively, 7'1 with a 7'5 wingspan. Very nice speed, especially for a guy that size. Very versatile defender, 95 standing. Not the best shooter, only a 73 ball, but honestly, his jumper's not bad, and I think 70 is high enough with a couple of shooting badges added for him to definitely be a competent shooter. He's got the size to compete against pretty much anybody on the defensive end of the court, and I think offensively, he's super duper solid, not to mention he's a Mav, which also is a little plus. I think this card's nice. I think he's very, very good. I think he's going to be a really nice budget big that a lot of people are going to have. Michael Jordan is my number 3. Maybe it's too high. I know his jumper isn't that great. Would I pay what MJ's going for? No. Pay less than a tenth of the price and buy Mike Miller instead. That being said, I mean, 6'6 with a 6'11 wingspan, 93 speed, 95 driving, 85 interior, 95 perimeter. The low block rate is kind of annoying, but otherwise, he's very complete badge-wise. Could use a couple things added still, like limitless and set shot. But 95 driving, 93 speed, Kemba escape, and drag back, which are really good sigs. Jumper is at least on quick. Now, even on quick, I don't think his jumper's great, but he's pretty decent, honestly. I think he's a little overlooked because of that jumper being mad, when honestly, stat and badge-wise, he's awesome. He's got really good movement, too. The jumper isn't great, but I still think he's probably top 3. I don't know. I could see the argument for moving him down 3 or 4 spots if you really are bothered by that jumper. Would not put him any lower than below Caruso on this list. I will say that. I think some people might move him down, and that's their opinion. But I actually am giving MJ the benefit of the doubt. Dylan Harper is 6'6" with 6'10" wingspan, 92 speed, 92 3, 85 driving dunk, legitimately solid defender, but 6'6" with 6'10" wingspan at point guard is the biggest thing. And then he's also got this afro that makes him look even taller. So there's a lot to like about Dylan Harper as an overall card. Versatility-wise, he's legit. He's got a legitimately very, very nice jumper. And honestly, movement-wise, Kobe White's behind the back isn't bad. D-Book dribble style is not bad. Pro 2 fade, obviously, is a really nice plus. Can shoot that from the mid-range consistently. I think this card... I think he's good, man. I think he's really, really good. I think he's definitely one of the best point guards in the game. Needs a couple of defensive badges added, but if you add him, he's definitely one of the best point guards in my team. I think number 2 is completely accurate. And then number 1, I am going Cooper Flagg. Just unbelievably complete statistically. He's very similar to Braun. Elite defender, elite slasher, super solid shooter, and fast and versatile. Very complete badges. Extremely impactful defensively, especially. I think this Cooper Flagg card is awesome. I think he's going to have really, really solid longevity as well. And... I mean, yeah, he's definitely probably, to me, the best card in today's drop. And arguably, it's a debate between him, Braun, KD, Kawhi, a couple other cards. But I would say overall, he is very arguably the best small forward in the game. And I do think he's the best card in today's drop. So, with that being said, that's my ranking. Y'all let me know what y'all think of it in the comment section down below. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.